I'm recording this from a riverboat cafe in this small town in Poland right now, and I found a fire thread on Reddit, on the entrepreneur subreddit of Reddit. Found a really good thread, and normally this subreddit has garbage on it, but I came across this thread, and it is not garbage. It's very insightful and very informative, so I'm going to share the lessons from it, the top lessons, especially the ones about marketing on this episode of The Edward Show, episode 225. I record this from a noisy cafe on a river, on a boat on a river. But you won't hear the noise. I'm going to get the noise removed. I'm going to have it cleaned. So the thread is called, I built a business that's done 45 million in sales, no investors from scratch, ask me anything. And the description is, it's a software business in the United Kingdom. I'm not a developer. I'm an entrepreneur. I didn't go to university. I have no qualifications. I have 2 founding partners. We started this business with 1 designer, 1 developer, and the 3 of us. I also went through a turbulent divorce while running the business. We have no investors. I started this when still living at my parents' home, and we've been going for 10 years now. COVID-19 was our best year. We've effed up more times than I can count. I've experienced 3 nervous breakdowns on this journey. I've personally made around 400 plus hires in my career, and the business itself once had 150 plus employees. I'm just a normal dude that I feel got somewhat lucky, and I worked like a dog. And the guy ends it by going, I'll provide any insights I can, answer any questions thoroughly, and happy to share whatever. So there's a ton of questions in this thread, and I'm going to just read the ones that I thought were best and the answers that I thought were best. This show is about how to get customers and users. And this guy shares some great details on how he got his first customers and users. So I think it's valuable. So the first question isn't about getting customers and users, but the rest of the questions are. The first question is, if you believe all your competitors are equally hardworking and equally qualified, what is, in your own introspection, that 1 or 2 defining quality or qualities that make it work for you? That one thing that you do that no one else could or would. Something you find grossly underrated by everyone else in the game that you capitalize on. So basically the question is, how are you differentiated? How are you different? Which I think is actually a silly question. I don't think you have to be different. I think you could have the same product as lots of other people, but you could do better marketing. But anyway, so this person's answer is, we've tried not to focus on doing everything. This question, by the way, that I read, it's the top question on this thread. It's the number 1 question. So the original poster's answer, we've tried not to focus on doing everything. If our competitors are doing lots of things, in our case, loads of features, we ignored that mostly and focused on what we do well. Our software does one thing, and we make sure it does that one thing better than our competitors. While they may have more features, opening up to a wider audience, we've built a dedicated user base who won't leave us because we do that one thing very well. A great book on this I'd recommend is Purple Cow by Seth Godin, and also the book The Star Principle by Michael Porter. A little nugget I was told early on, the riches are in the niches. Such a good comment. The Star Principle is great. I read it. I have not read Purple Cow yet, but I need to. And I'm going deeper into this comment. The original poster says basically what I just said. The only rules to business is that there are no rules. Anything can work if it's marketed well. All right, so now we get into how the original poster got their first customers, the first users. So the question is, how did you find clients for your software business at the very beginning? The original poster says, we relied solely upon building affiliate relationships. We found people and businesses that had audiences or customers that we knew would buy our product. We then offered 50, 60, or even 100% commissions on any customer referrals we got. We did this for the first 3 years and got up to around 3 million annual recurring revenue. That's crazy. 100% commissions. So they were doing 50 to 60% or even 100% commissions on any customer referrals. And they did that for 3 years, which got them to 3 million annual recurring revenue. Someone asked, was that lifetime commission or just commission on the first month? That's a good question. And the original poster said, we give 30% lifetime or until canceled on subscriptions. We give 60 to 100% on the base license, which is a one-time cost. We do things a bit different. When people go to our site, they only have to pay once to use the app. We then upsell it to a subscription. That's where we make the cash. That's smart. That's really cool. The original poster talks a bit about how they found affiliate partners. So the first comment on this is from the entrepreneur. We found affiliate partners to sell the product for us. This costs us $0 and it validated the idea. The question to ask yourself is, who has the audience I need? It's a broad question that sparks ideas. Example, I sell running trainers / sneakers. Who has the audience? Foot Locker, JD, franchise, sports retailers, etc. Local gyms, fitness influencers, running blogs, running equipment stores, retailer, forums with runners like Reddit. You can go really deep with these layers. If I sell video software, I can speak to bloggers in digital marketing, ad agencies, freelancers who sell marketing services, small local businesses who sell to other businesses. Make a list of 100 people / businesses, then contact them about what you have, tell them to sell it or else. That's funny. Someone asked, do you use a platform to capture affiliate conversions or how do you do that component? This person uses the platform Pay Kickstart. That's the platform Pay Kickstart. The entrepreneur talks a bit more about finding and contacting affiliates. Make a list of 100 people that you think can sell your product. The question to ask, who has the audience? It's funny. People are staring at me as I record. This is kind of funny. It's okay. I think this is a good episode. Make a list of 100 people that you think can sell your product. The question to ask, who has the audience for my service? By the way, if you're wondering why I'm recording in a cafe and you don't listen to the show often, the answer is because I do this every day. Sometimes I'm not at home when I need to record. This is one of those times. So I'm at a cafe and I need to record and I'm doing it here. But it's fun for me. It makes it exciting. That's why. All right, I'm reading this comment now. Make a list of 100 people that you think can sell your product. The question to ask, who has the audience for my service? Make a list, contact them. Hey, hope you don't mind the direct approach. So this is what you could send to a potential affiliate. Hey, hope you don't mind the direct approach. We've been building a great new product called X. It helps people like your customers do X. We're looking for partners that we can build mutually beneficial relationships with. I'd love to know how we might be able to serve your audience and bring you value. Would you be open for a quick 15-minute chat? Let me know either way. Cheers. Send this to 100 plus people. Convert 2 to 3. You now have customers. Oh, wow. That's great. Send this to 100 plus people. Convert 2 to 3. You now have customers. And, someone followed up and added a really good comment to this. The person said, be the most memorable or most interesting conversation they have that day. Personalize the crap out of it so you actually reach them emotionally, which as somebody, I would consider myself to have some sort of influence now. I'm constantly pitched on businesses and a lot of people don't personalize messages and I ignore them. And the ones that are personalized, I really deeply appreciate. And I'm a lot more likely to actually look into that person's pitch. Personalize the crap out of it so you actually reach them emotionally. Ask them for advice / help. This reaches people who are naturally open to partnerships being pitched. I had good success on LinkedIn, for example. Hey, hoping we can connect. Just read your comment on X. Very interesting viewpoint, but I'm struggling to understand one aspect. I wanted to ask you for some advice if you don't mind. So that's an example of what you could send. This is 100% different from the crap they get daily, so they will often bite. It's true. Have the conversation, be truthful and genuine, end the conversation. Go back a few days later and pitch them gently. Oh, wow. So you just have the conversation without trying to get anything, and then a few days later you pitch them. That's great. That's a really great comment. The entrepreneur, the original poster who made this thread, even added, this is good advice. This is more on how the entrepreneur got their first users and customers. The question is, how do you find product market fit? Did you do it via customer interview? The entrepreneur says, no, we built an MVP with basic features, then found affiliate partners to promote the basic version. Once we saw it converted and we were getting customers, we knew the market was there. We then took the money we generated and further developed the product. So the person who asked the question says, got it. So how do you know what kinds of features to build in your MVP in the first place? And the entrepreneur says, in our case, I had a problem I couldn't find a solution to. So we started there. If unsure, simply go look at customer reviews on Trustpilot for competitors. Look at Product Hunt and ask in forums / research in forums or communities. All we did was look for one problem to solve. It should always just be one problem to solve first, then the features become obvious. It's great. This is great. Someone asked, how did you go about validating the idea? What was the process from minimum viable product to release? And the entrepreneur says, this just goes in line with what the entrepreneur was saying. We did promotions with a few affiliate partners to see if people would buy. They did, so that gave us all the validation we needed. We then pushed forward. And I'm going to end this episode with this question and answer. It's a 3-part question. The questions are, what's your unique selling point? Given there are multiple software providers in the market who may be doing this at a cheaper rate or with better turnaround time, how do you stay competitive? That's number 1. And the answer to that is we are faster and simpler. Everything we do is about speed, whereas our competitors focus on complexity. We sacrifice quality for speed, and our target market is happy with that. The entrepreneur goes on to write, we remain competitive by selling bundles, special promotions, creating new assets for our customers for free to persuade them to stay with us. But most importantly, we compete because we focus on different deliverables that our competitors don't. So even if our customers use our competitors, they'd still use us because our one feature is better than what the competitor's equivalent is. Question 2, how did you know that this is something where you can build a market and the timing is right and this is a business that will stay for some time and it won't be eaten by new tech? The answer to number 2, how did we know? We didn't really. We tested, validated through sales activity. We could be killed by new tech. The best we can do is to stay informed, innovate, and move forward. There's no guarantees. We've had many close calls. I actually just made a TikTok about this today. It's about how the company that makes Swiss Army knives was almost killed by 9/11, but they always operated with a long-term philosophy. And so 9/11 happened. Swiss Army knives were banned on flights. Swiss Army knives made up 80% of their business. And this flight ban really hammered them, but they had been operating with a long-term philosophy. So they had money for R&D, for research and development. And so they took that money and they used it to diversify their product offerings. And now they're making twice as much money as they did before 9/11 because they took what they had saved, their emergency funds, and invested into diversifying. So the third question that this person asked in the comments, how did you scale? It's very simple. This entrepreneur says the biggest lever to scaling was paid advertising on socials. The entrepreneur had positive unit economics, knew who to target, knew the ads to put, and that's all they needed. So I think this is a great thread if you want to read it yourself. It's called I Built a Business That's Done 45 million in Sales, No Investors, from Scratch, Ask Me Anything, on the entrepreneur subreddit of reddit.com. This is episode 225 of The Edward Show. This is my daily marketing podcast, my daily growth hacking, growth marketing podcast. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you found it useful, informative, something fun to listen to while going for a walk or doing the dishes or living life. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.